Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are having a great day today. So in this video I will be doing a review and giving you guys my thoughts on the Jaclyn Hill palette that she collabed with Morphe. Now, for anyone who does not know, this palette retailed for $38 and it is available on morphebrushes.com, and currently this palette is sold out for the second time. I know that they will be doing another restock in August. I don't know the date of that restock, but they will be restocking this palette. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to get into reviewing everything you need to know about this palette, giving you my true and honest thoughts and opinions, and I will be doing some swatches for you guys. So I received this palette, and when you get it, it comes in a white packaging, and it has the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe, and it's written in silver. And then on the back you just have four pictures of her just having fun and being goofy and just being herself. Now, Jaclyn did say that she spent 2 years working on this palette, just trying to perfect everything and all of the colors and make it a go-to palette for everyone. So let's get down and see if this is really true. So I will say, when I did receive this palette, I was missing the card that had all of the name shades on it, and after 2 weeks of contacting Morphe, they finally sent me one, so now I am able to tell you guys the names of the shadows as well. So when you get it, it's going to be bubble wrapped, and as you can see, there is a card in here. Now, I put the card in here. This did not come in this palette originally. Once I received it, I put it in here because I like to keep everything that comes in the palette together. So it's going to come bubble wrapped, and you should get a card that has the names of the shadows in there. So it does come very well protected. I will say that I didn't have any damages to my shadows or anything like that. So first, I want to talk about the packaging. So, like the box, it is a white palette packaging with silver words. So it says the Jaclyn Hill palette and Morphe in silver. And when you turn on the back, it has Morphe x Jaclyn Hill, and it has Jaclyn Hill's initials JH written in gray, all on the back. Now, my one gripe about this palette so far, as far as the packaging goes, for starters, I do not like white palettes. I feel like with a palette that has different shades of colors and pops of colors, or even if the palette had fallout, it's gonna get on this palette. Now, I did play with this palette for a few times, and I see my fingerprints already on the palette. I tried to wipe it off, and it is annoying for me, but I mean, what can you do about it? So it doesn't get any more dirty than what it already is, I just choose to keep the bubble wrap, as well as I'm going to keep the box to store it in. I'd rather have this dirty than the actual palette, because I like to take care of my palettes. I like to take care of my stuff. So that's one of my complaints with the palette so far, is that I preferred it to be, I guess, a darker color, maybe black with silver, but she chose white and silver. That's fine. And then also, a lot of people have been complaining or didn't like the fact that it's cardboard, because Morphe palettes are more like that plastic material, which I kind of understand why, but I really could care less if a palette is cardboard or plastic, just as long as it's a good palette. Now, when you open it, it has another message, and you probably can't see it from the glare of my camera, but it has another message, a note that she says, and it says, "This palette is dedicated to all my loving subscribers, XO Jaclyn." And then it comes with a plastic thing to protect the shadows. And these are all the colors of this palette. Now, another thing that I did not like, I would have preferred a mirror here, only because if I'm trapped, and I'm just not realizing just how dirty my palette is. Yeah, so getting back to the mirror, I would have preferred a mirror because if I'm gonna be traveling and I need to pack makeup, I choose to pack the least amount of makeup possible. So this would have been the perfect palette to pack because it has all the shades in there. If I wanted to do just a natural look, if I wanted to do smoky, neutral eye, pops of color, it's all in this palette. The only thing now is that now I have to pack a mirror because there is not one here. Another thing that I noticed is that if this was a palette and she didn't name these shadows, I wouldn't have cared. It would have been fine. But being that these colors all have a shadow name, I would have preferred to have like the name written underneath it or somewhere on this palette so that I know what I'm looking for, because not everyone is going to be traveling or bringing this along with them. And this basically, I don't know if you can see it, but it just has all of the names of what she named these shadows. So I was either going to glue or attach a mirror here, but then I didn't want to damage this palette. So then I seen someone on Instagram actually took this and taped it here, which I actually think is probably going to be a really good idea, because that way I know what eyeshadow color I am using. But I don't know if you can see, like in the darker shades, it has like fallout and makeup smudges, but I will try to clean that up. But that's my thoughts on this palette. I feel like the color range is a very good palette, but those just minor details, I would have, if it was my palette, I would have done those things. Okay, so this palette retails for $38, and a lot of people were complaining because they says, well, I can get a Morphe palette for $22.99. Granted, yes, you can get a Morphe palette for $22.99, but keep in mind that the Jaclyn Hill palette is a limited edition palette, and on top of that, it's a collab. And she did say that it took her 2 years to work on these colors, and they used new machinery. Now, around the time that the Jaclyn Hill palette came out, I know the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette came out. I don't know if it was launched on the same day, the same week, but they came out around the same time. And my thought is, for everyone complaining about the cost of the Jaclyn Hill palette, which is $38, which comes to $1.05 per, no, or maybe it's $1.08 per eyeshadow, because there are 35 eyeshadows in this palette. Those are probably the same people that do have the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette in their collection, which retails for $54, but you're only getting 12 shades. So that breaks it down. So you're paying $4.50 per eyeshadow for the Naked Heat palette, but for the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, you're really paying like $1.08 for each shade. Do the math. A lot of people are feeling like the cost, oh, I'm just paying for her name. Granted, yes, she's one of the top beauty influentials of YouTube, but I still think that $38 is a really good price, considering how there's a lot of higher brand eyeshadow palettes out there that are in the 50s, 60s, 70s. There's some palettes that are even in the $100 and people buy them. So I think this is very affordable for anyone to grab. I feel like if you're just starting out into makeup, this will be a really good palette for you to play with, because it has all transitions and all colors that you can play with. Now, enough with the talking of the cost. I am going to get into this eyeshadow palette. I'm going to do some swatches for you guys. Okay, so you're going to get 5 rows of colors with 7 shadows across. That makes 35 shadows. You have your pops of color down here. You have transition shadows. You have neutrals. You have some shimmers. You have smoky eye looks. You have it all in this palette. So I'm going to start off by swatching each row, and I'm going to go across. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first color that I'm going to be swatching is called In Light, and just from looking at it, it looks like a really nice champagne shell kind of color. Silky. So I'm going to do the first swatch. And that color is going to be in light. But this color is called Beam. Okay, let's see. Now that's definitely more pigmented than in light. The next color that I will be applying is called Silk Cream. So you might not see it because it is, and that definitely is a matte. It's not really showing up on my skin, but I don't know if you guys can see it right there. But that is Silk Cream. This is called MFEO, but MFEO stands for Made for Each Other, because she says Silk Cream and this color are made for each other. And it's a little bit darker. Now the next color is Faint, which is like a frosty ice pink. Now it is applied very flaky, so let me blend it out. The next one is one of my favorites, and it's like a rose gold metallic color, and that's called Sissy. Again, there's applied flaky. And the last one called Little Lady. Again, there is fallout. Let me just put this way. There is fallout on the metallic shades, but when you swatch it, I will say that it feels very creamy and buttery and velvet. I like the consistency of how it feels. I just wish that the metallic didn't have as much fallout as I'm seeing. And this last one is Little Lady. So that is the first row. I am going to move on to the second row. So this first one is called Creamsicle, and that's a matte, and it looks like a true orange. She said it reminds her of a creamsicle. That feels really good. There is fallout, but let's see how it applies swatched. Okay, so the next one is called Butter. Now, I don't feel like the pigmentation is there for the mattes on some of them for me, because I have to go over it a few times just for it to show up. But I don't know if you can see, but that's Butter. The next one is called Pooter, and she did say, like, she named it Pooter because Pooter is the name of her feeling that she used for someone that's being a grouch or a grump. So let's see. See, I don't know if it's just me, and I don't know if it's picking up on my camera, but it's not really, the mattes don't really show up nicely on me. I mean, but the color is so nice. That could be a nice transition color, or a color to deepen up the transition color. But that's Pooter. The next one, and I give her credit for this because she actually named it Pukey. Don't know why, but it's more power to you. And this again is another matte brown kind of color. Yeah, the mattes just aren't really doing it for me. Don't get me wrong, the colors are pretty, It's just the pigmentation, just you gotta work it for it to show. Okay, the next color she needs after Linda from Morphe, and this is like a reddish orange kind of color, and it looks intense. This is called Hunts. Okay, so the pigmentations, I guess the darker it gets, I guess the darker the color, the more pigmentation it gets, but that's a nice family of colors going on right there. Like that would be a really pretty look by itself. The next one, when I seen this color, I fell in love with it. So to swatch it, let's see how it works. And she named this shade Firework, which is more like a copper, true copper metallic shade. It feels really nice swatching. So let's see how it turns up. That is gorgeous. That feels really good. Very creamy, but that is a very gorgeous color. And if you top it with Hunts, it will be out of this world. And the last shade in this palette, and I have used this color, and I will say I really liked it. I don't know if it was the primer that I used in the video that I used this in, and I will link that video up here because I did a demo get ready with me using this palette, and I put Queens all over the eyes. It took a minute for me to work it on my eyes and build it up. I think it was the primer that I was using, but after it came on, it was gorgeous. And this is like, I want to say like a true 24 karat gold, and this is a metallic shimmer. Well, and let's see. That is gorgeous. Those last two colors, one of my top two favorites. So again, you have your warmer shades working into your oranges, gold colors, and the transition colors. That's the second row of this palette. And my critique so far, the mattes, I feel like you have to work a little bit to build up the color. Like just one swatch is not enough pigmentation for me, but those metallic and deeper shades, Okay, so now I'm gonna go into the third row, which is getting more deeper in the colors. You have some very nice looking colors, so let's swatch them. This first one is called, in the third row, is called Obsessed, and she says she is absolutely obsessed with this color because she says she worked on it extremely long and she's just obsessed with how it came out. And this looks like a nice champagne shimmer metallic color. So let's see. Okay, now she says she's obsessed with it. It's a very pretty color, do not get me wrong, but I'm more obsessed with Firework and Queen. But it's a nice eyelid color, but very neutral. This next shade is called SBN, and she said that SBN in the makeup world means smoky but natural. It is a shimmer metallic color. There is fallouts, but it looks like a very neutral color. Okay, so that is SBN. The next one is called Hilster because that's what she calls her YouTube family, her little Hilsters, because as you know, her last name is Hill, obviously. And this is the one that looks like an actual true bronze copper color. I'm noticing that the color pigmentation is getting a lot better. Now that was 2 swatches, but still the first swatch is even pretty, and it was very pigmented. The next one is Roxanne, and Roxanne is her middle name, and that is like a true terracotta color. So as you can see, the shades are getting deeper and more richer. Now the next color is Jax, and that's her nickname. Now swatching it, it doesn't feel as creamy. I mean, at first it felt a little dry, but I noticed that the whole top layer, like out of all the colors so far, that one has the most fallout. But this is a true brick red kind of color. That's a lot of fallout. Like, that's like a blood red, burnt red, but very pretty. Next color is called Buns. That felt really good swatching it. Silk, but again, I have a lot of product fallout. And the last one in that row is called Cran Apple, which looks just like a cranberry apple red color, and this is a shimmer metallic. Okay, so as you can see, the shades are starting to get darker and more pigmented. These are the colors for the third row. Now the fourth row is where we start to get into more of the pops of colors. The first one is called Royalty, which is a really deep dark purple color. Now by looking in the palette, it looks like a true purple, but when you swatch it, you see reflections of blue. So I feel like it's like a really nice blue purple. The next color is called Twerk, but this looks like a very nice navy royal blue. See that? But it's really nice. Now that's pretty. The next color is Hustle. That's actually a really nice, pretty, like an antique silver gold kind of color. The next one is called Meeks. The next color is called 24/7. And just by looking at the color, I love the way it looks. It's like a really nice shimmer chocolate brown. The next one is a matte, and that's called Chip. A lot of fallout on the palette. Wow, that's deep. That's a really nice rich chocolate chip color. And the last one in that row is called Mocha. Now, The first color in the 5th row is called Pool Party color, and this is a shimmer. That is really pretty. I wouldn't normally wear this color on my eyes, but I need to get into wearing something like this, or I need to at least try, because that color is very beautiful. The next color is Jada, which is a nice teal kind of color, and I will say it is very pigmented. Like, look at that. Very nice teal color, and I don't normally see teal colors in palettes, so it was really nice to have that color. The next color is Diva, which is kind of in the green family, but it's a shimmer. I feel like this is a duochrome color, because depending on how you look at it, it looks green, but it also has, like, to me, like grayish kind of undertone. But it pairs really nicely mixed with Jada. Like, on camera it looks like a really deep green shimmer, but when you look in the palette, it looks like it has like blue, like a bluish gray to it. But that's very pretty as well. Very, very pigmented. The next color is called Enchanted, which looks like a black green color. The next color is called Central Pop. The next color in the palette is called Soda Pop, which looks like a really deep, very deep chocolate brown color. Almost looks black. And the last color in this palette is called Abyss, which is a true black, she says. She says she wanted a black that looks completely black, because you know some palettes that have black is really like gray, or it's not a true black, but this is Abyss, and let's see how it swatch. I will say that looks black. Yeah, that looks black to me. Okay guys, so that was the swatches of all 35 colors. Now I will say for this palette, I feel like, in my opinion, it's a good palette. Don't get me wrong, it is a good palette. The only things that I would change for this palette is the color of the palette, because it gets dirty quickly. Just from the swatches alone, you can see that there's fallout and it's smeared. Other than that, also I will say, I feel like even though for the 35 shades it's a nice variety and range of colors, I feel like I see more browns than anything. And I know she wanted a palette that everyone can use, and yes, I am very grateful for all the shades of browns, because those are more transition colors, and being that I love those chocolate, warm, coppery, brown, orangey colors, like those are my go-to colors. I feel like for this to be an everyday palette, I wish to see a little bit more color ranges. Like, for instance, I only see like 2 pinks, 2 or 3 greens, 1 purple, 1 blue. I would have liked to see more color shade arrangements as far as more variations of colors. But other than that, I will say I do like this palette. I have used this palette before, and I do love how it blends on. Would I recommend this palette to you guys? Actually, yes, I would recommend this palette, because if you're like me, like I said, if you love those natural, warm, bronzy looks, then this would be the palette for you. If you're new into makeup, just like I'm just now getting back into makeup, I feel like this is a perfect palette for me to practice and play with, because as other eyeshadows, I can put a color on my crease and then I can try to like smoke out my eye, and then I notice that the color from the smoking out of my eyes blends with the crease color, and then it just feels like one muddled mess of in just one color. For this, I noticed if I blend out the color in my transition and the layer color on top, I can still see the eyeshadow underneath, so it's not blending all together into one big mess. So that's one thing that I do appreciate with this palette. I'm just going to take off points for the coloring of the package, but that's my own preference. Some people like white palettes or light color palettes, because don't get me wrong, this palette looks very timeless and sleek and elegant. Like, I love how glam it looks, and then I'm all about like white decor with pops of silvers and golds. So yes, I do like how it looks. As far as my preference, I prefer darker palettes, but again, my preference. You may like it, so that's not a big issue for me, because I do have a solution to solve it. I would have preferred a mirror, but again, it goes to preference. So I have ways that I can work with what is missing in this palette. I can always tape a little mirror inside or shade names. It's just little things. But other than that, my opinion for the overall palette, I think you should definitely go out and buy it, because it can be your everyday makeup palette. The color ranges are beautiful. Like I said before, I wish there was more variations of colors, but the brown color, she gives us options, and that's all that really matters. The price is amazing. $38, guys, for an eyeshadow palette that contains 35 eyeshadows. Do the math. It will be worth it. I would probably rate this an A minus kind of deal. So again, spend the $38, guys. It will be worth it. I promise you, you will fall in love with this palette. Me personally, when this palette is restocked in August, I am going to try to snag another palette for a future giveaway. We will see about that, but I think that would be a good present for you guys. What do you guys think? Should I do a future giveaway or not? Because I'm thinking very, very soon. If you think I should do a giveaway, like this video, leave me a comment down below and let me know, guys, what's something that you guys will want to win in a video. I can do something as far as like little makeup packages for multiple winners. I can do one big package. It can be makeup, skincare products. Leave me a comment down below and I would see what I can do for you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys, I honestly wouldn't be doing this. And granted, the time that I am filming this video, yes, I only have 8 subscribers, but you know what? You 8 subscribers right now mean so much to me right now, because you actually take the time out to watch videos that I create. And I'm not a beauty influential person. I'm not an expert. I'm not a makeup goddess. But you guys are on this journey with me. You guys have been on this journey with me from just about day one. And I appreciate you guys. So for my way of giving back, I would love to do a giveaway. And whether I'm looking back on this video and I have 8 subscribers, if I have 200 subscribers, it doesn't matter how many I have. I do appreciate you guys, and I thank you for actually taking the time to watch this video all the way to the end, or subscribing, or liking this video, or commenting, and just communicating with me. So again, thank you guys, and that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you guys want to see me do any other videos, leave me a comment down below and I will get those videos out to you guys, and I will check you guys out in my next video.